This is the church, St. George Church, and this is the monastery where we live. The church has been here since the 4th century. The original wall is actually here. The lower part of the building is the original wall built by St. Helena in the 4th century. And then the church was destroyed several times and eventually was rebuilt in this form in the late 1700s. So the church was originally built on the tomb of St. George. This used to be his house, his mother's house actually. He was brought here and buried here, and the tomb is in the crypt down here. He was martyred in Rome, but he was brought here because he wanted to be buried at his hometown. So if you want, we can go and see the... Careful your head. So this is the tomb of St. George.
Who was St. George?
St. George was a Roman soldier in the Roman army in the early 3rd century. And he was martyred for his faith because he was Christian. You know, at that time the Roman emperors were still idolaters. And he confessed his faith as a Christian, and he was martyred in Rome. This icon here depicts his martyrdom. He was placed in a pool of asbestos. He was cut with several knives on the wheel, and eventually he was beheaded in Rome. But as we said, this was the house of his mother, and he begged his servant to bring his remains and bury them here. And that's why the tomb is here. He is very much revered by the Greeks, the Georgians especially, and even the British, because they have St. George on their emblem. You've heard of their St. George flag. They have a flag. You'll recognize the British emblem.
Can I ask how Orthodoxy developed here in the Holy Land?
Originally, they were all followers of Christ. That's why they were all called Christians. But early in the 4th century, there were some splits from that original faith because of Arianism. So we have the Monophysite churches like the Coptic Egyptians, the Ethiopian church. We have the Armenian church. And further on in the 11th century, there was a bigger split between the East and the West. What we call the West, the Catholic Church, and the East is still remained the Orthodox Church.
Thank you. Did you choose this place here, or
I was appointed here. I was sent here.
Okay.
By the Patriarch. We belong to the Greek Orthodox Patriarchate of Jerusalem. Yeah.
And was it your first
assignment?
Before
I was in Bethlehem for 2 years at the Church of the Nativity in Bethlehem.
Oh, okay.